So we have a large stage party and a limited amount of time, so we're going to have partially a moderated conversation. We're going to try to get some questions from the audience if there's time at the end. But to begin, please join me in welcoming and congratulating Director Greg Kwedar.
Okay. All right. I'm going to try and keep it together. All right. Please allow me welcoming the co-writer, producer, and my best friend, Clint Bentley. Come on out. Producer and a very new, wonderful friend in our lives, Monique Walton. Come on out, Monique Walton. A 10-year volunteer of RTA and the writer of this fucking crazy play, Brent Buell, co-producer Brent Buell. Now, I'd like to bring out the poet, Sean San Jose's Mike. Sean San Jose, come on out.
He's in the audience.
The poet is coming. Mike, come on up. And the soulful Paul Racy as Brent Buell. Come on out, Paul Racy. Come on, Sean. Mike, in the house. Paul Racy. All right. To the man who broke our hearts and put it all back together again, the one, the only Colman Domingo. Okay. So you know how I said it was really hard to get here? It wasn't hard for us. We just showed our passports and got on a plane. And but for our alumni cast, it was, as soon as we heard we got in, it was about a 4-month immigration process just to be here. And they found out 2 days ago that they were cleared to come. But I just want to say up front, we wanted to travel all 13 of our cast. No one was more or less deserving of gaining entry. I think everyone was deserving to see themselves up on the screen with this audience. But we're bringing you five amazing people. First, I want to bring out Sean Dino Johnson. John Adrian, JJ Velasquez. David Dap Girardi, the Egyptian prince. And now the real John Divine G. Whitfield. And last but certainly not least, in his first starring role in a feature film, Clarence Divine Eye Macklin. Clarence.
Very hard to follow that. But I know that I, like many of the people here, are very, very interested in how you created this work. I know there's probably a lot to talk about, but did you first become aware of the program? How did the development of it all happen? And how did you find these miraculous talents here?
Yeah, we're going to talk real briefly from the production side, because I imagine you might want to hear from these gentlemen down at the end of the row. But Clint and I started on this 7.5 years ago, and we first started as volunteer teachers within RTA and meeting Brent Buell, and he, maintained these lifelong friendships and opened that world up to us. We partnered with RTA, and then we started getting to know Divine I and Divine G, and this beautiful friendship with people who on the outside probably may not have found themselves to be friends, interested in different things, but in here, grew to this thing closer than family through this work. And then we started telling the story together with them, and then Colman entered our orbit, and from the first Zoom, he was in and brought his grace and his expertise and his love to this process. And then the stage kept growing and growing, and the team out here, the amazing craftspeople and artists that brought us to life. I don't know. I'm also not sure how to top what just happened. So.
Well, I would like to speak a little bit about the casting process then. How did you encounter all of these folks?
Yeah, so we worked with Brent Buell, the real Brent Buell, to cast the film. He knows all of the RTA alumni very well, very intimately. So we were able to form a process with him where we just started talking through all of the alumni. We had an abundance of talent, so there was no shortage of people to choose from. And it was really about finding an alchemy. And so we would do these Zooms, you could talk a little bit about them as well, where Brent would lead in some exercises, some of which you saw in the film. And that was how we started to cast from the alumni.
And can I speak to the actors from that side on in? How did you heard about the project for them, and what made you interested in being a part of it?
What made me interested in being a part was the fact that we was going to get a message out to the world about who we are, what we do, and what we're capable of, and the contributions that we still can contribute. That's what got me.
Yeah.
Well, I was involved with the process from the very beginning when we first came up with the idea of doing a play about Sing Sing, and I've been on board ever since. I mean, the fact that we was going to, like Divine said, we was going to have the ability to express a message to the world as far as the power and the beauty of arts and theater and the journeys that we went through, I was full throttle.
Okay.
My brothers pretty much summed it up, same thing. I was approached about the project. It was a no-brainer for me. It's just a continuation of what we was doing anyway. We do our performances inside for the people inside, but we always had the final night for people that came outside to come in. And that's how we spread our message at that time. Now, this is just tenfold in it.
Tenfold, yes. And you, sir?
So, like everybody else, I agree with what, was said by my brothers. And the reality is that this is a movement that I've never felt the same energy from before. And I've been part of plenty of movements, but nothing has embodied community and resilience the way that we have on that set together as a family. And I appreciate them all.
Okay. Yeah.
As one of the founding members of RTA, I felt like I owed my life to RTA. And anything conveying a message of letting other people know that it exists, I want to be a part of it. And I just want to say thank you to Greg because it was beautiful. This is the first time I've seen the whole.
Wow.
Greg and Clint approached me at a time, I think, in my career where, you know, I'm a little busy, which is wonderful. And I do things that are amplified in a great way, and I've been able to have some great successes. And then my beautiful team, who are all here, and that will let you know that I always want to make room for the things that matter. And that's, for me, it's about pouring back in, you know, with whatever way I can amplify and be a part of something that I think really matters. And these men matter to me, and their stories matter. Theater matters, art matters. And I knew that this was truly a no-brainer for me immediately. I thought, whatever I can do and have access to make this happen, I want to be a part of it. And we made it happen pretty quickly, from the page to actually fitting it in between 2 films that I was doing. We fit it in. I said, well, I have 16 days to say, we can do it. So, and I also was blessed, and they let me collaborate in many different ways and bring my production company on board with Raul, and also bring my very best friend in the entire world to play my best friend.
Yeah, the whole process has been beautiful, and humbled by these human beings, and humbled by the love and the mind of my best friend and these creators. But anything that we can do to put a fist through the prison industrial complex and show the human beings inside of it.
I'm just an actor, just proud to be in this beautiful film. My real hero is Brent right here. This is a man, a real man, who uncovers the humanity that's underneath all the hurt of these guys that might have made a mistake, or we've all made mistakes, but him and his wife, Janice, they opened their house up, their home, to these guys when they have no place to go. You have no idea who this guy is, but he's a saint. And I respect you so much, Brent. This program, this kind of program should be in every prison in this country, around everybody. And I hope you tell people about it.
The process of incarceration in this country is built to break a person down, to turn them into a subservient machine. Theater is the way of putting a person back together again and letting them discover who they are, to rediscover the ability to have empathy. When you play a role, you're stepping into someone else's shoes. You're having to look through someone else's eyes. And that's something that is new after 25 years of just being brutalized inside. There is so much to say, but I'm tremendously proud of every one of these men and the other men in this film. And just as a beautiful note on this, in the United States, men who serve long-term sentences, about 67% return to prison after 3 years. In our program, after 27 years and hundreds of men coming through, we are under 3% returning.
We are humbled and honored that you brought your film to us. I couldn't be more pleased and proud to present it. Please join me in congratulating these wonderful people and thanking them very much for their work. Yeah.